Hi, this is John Macy from OzBiz. If you haven't already, I suggest that you view the overview of our program. This particular video is going to talk to you about processing invoices and easy little shortcuts that are here on the form. So here we are, we've pressed the invoices button. Up the top here we're saying process supplier invoices, and that's what we want to do. The suppliers themselves are in this, which we call a combo box. Now a combo box, you can tell, has a little arrow on the side of it, and throughout this form there are several combo boxes. In this particular one, these are the list of suppliers that have already been entered into the configuration form, being people that you are buying goods or services from on a regular basis. Let me talk to you for a moment about a combo box. When you come into the box, as we see here with our cursor flashing, you can do one of several things. You can press the F4 function key and that will open the box. You can press the little arrow by the side, which will open the box. If you know the name of the supplier, you can start to type, and this has what's called type ahead technology. So if I press B, it's going to bring up all those suppliers that start with B, U, and if I said R, it would go to Burke's Electrical, and I then press the tab key, which would select it and move to the next box. So you don't have to type Burke's Electrical. Let me just go back into the box again. So if I said B for Bunnings, let's say we're going to do Bunnings from Coffs Harbour. That happens to be our local Bunnings store. Now you can press either the tab key or the enter key to move from one field to the other. That's entirely up to you. So let's move from this one. I've pressed B for Bunnings. That's all I need to press. Press the tab key. Now Bunnings at Coffs Harbour is associated with this expense type, which is repairs and maintenance. This particular combo box holds all of the expense types as per the list from the ATO. Now this list from the ATO is what your bookkeeper or accountant has to consolidate information into when submitting data on your behalf for taxation purposes. So on that basis, it makes sense when you're putting data in to try and put the data to accommodate it into these particular areas. In our configuration form, we have associated purchases from Bunnings at Coffs Harbour to be for repairs and maintenance, and if I clear the form and if I go back and start again, when I select Bunnings at Coffs Harbour, this is what appears, being the expense item with which this supplier mainly uses. Now you can either accept this, repairs and maintenance, or you can select one of the other expense types. And again, you can either type ahead or use the arrow keys to go up and down. Let's leave it at where this was, which was repairs and maintenance. Tab key takes me to the next field. Here we select the date that this particular invoice was. All you need to do is press the enter key or Alt S. You see how that S is underlined? You select the Alt key and S and it will open the little date picker, and you can pick the date that this invoice was. It's immediately moved to the next field, which is the invoice number. You don't have to enter this, but let's say it's 12345. Tab or enter to the next field. The total amount of the invoice, let's say, was $330. Tab, there was $30 GST. Let's make this one nice and simple. Now This allows you to either put a paid amount in or to leave it blank. We're assuming that most of your goods and services would be paid for at the time that you're entering them here. Now, rather than having to type amount paid in, let me just press the plus key, and hey, there you go, $330. Here we have another combo box, and this is the property. If I open this by pressing this little arrow, these are the properties that we've got set up in this little example. So I've got three properties, one called Hills Road, one called Personal, and one called The Glen. And again, you can either click it, you can start to type ahead, or in fact you can use the arrow keys without pressing anything. If you know there's only a few things in there, sometimes that's easier. It's a matter of what suits you. Let's select Hills Road. Now, Hills Road actually has 3 bank accounts in the configuration, and you can nominate your default bank account, and it has actually defaulted to the default bank account. Once again, here is a combo box with all the bank accounts which we've set up for Hills Road. Whilst it has selected the default one, you can overwrite it and select a different one, if that's in fact what you did when you paid for this particular these particular goods or services. Payment method can either be cash. Well, again, let's have a look. There's all the payment types. Again, these are things that we set up in our configuration when we first worked with you. Let's say this was a check, and let's say the check number that you wrote was 658. Okay, we have room here for a header memo, so let's write a header memo. Now, if this is totally prepaid and is for a number of sites, we can actually split that between the sites, but let's make this one easier. Let's say it's paid for by Hills Road and it belongs to Hills Road. You see how we're selecting that particular one, and there we go. The data is entered into the grid. The grid itself has the ability, you can widen or reduce these fields by holding your mouse over the right hand column and simply dragging to the left or the right to suit yourself. Now if we actually say let's post that to MyOb, we now have a form coming up which does a number of things. First thing it does is log on to MYOB for each of your sites and will check whether the configuration we have set up is configured correctly. If it's not, you'll get a message to that effect, in which case you would phone us. But you can see it's basically checked it. It knows that there's a build to process into MYOB. It's opening MYOB in the background, ready to post the data in. Now this can take this is the first time we've actually opened MyOb today, so it's going to take a little bit of time, and that's what happens. So let's just give it some time. There it is. It's opening MYOB. It's posting the data in, and there we go. All over in 51 seconds. The next time it's going to be a lot quicker. What I might do is to just run back over again what we do here. Let's say we've got a new supplier, and let's say it is Cornwell's Hardware, for want of a better name. And we press tab. It's saying, hold on, is this a new supplier? Well, yes. Okay, now let's have a default association in here that you want to do. let's select our good old repairs and maintenance. Let's add him. It's done that. It's selected the repairs and maintenance as a default, and if we look in here we'll see that it's already added Cornwall's hardware into the list, ready for next time. So here we go. Let's select the date. Let's say the 7th. Now another thing with the date field is if when you come around the date's already filled, rather than reselecting, you can press either the plus button, which will increment the date, or you can press the minus button, which will take a date off. Again, a couple of key presses is all you need. Let's select the invoice number. Let's do the amount again, $20. The plus key, putting that in. Paid for by personal, from the personal check account. Payment method was check. Now I've just pressed the plus key in the check field, and it took the previous check number, you might recall, was 658, and it's made it 659. Hardware purchase for the Glen. Let's select the Glen, and there we go. Now this time it won't check the configuration because it's already done it. It's opening MyOb, it's posting the data in, and hopefully in a couple of seconds this is all going to be over. It needs to put data in for personal and for the Glen. Remember, we paid for it out of personal, but the purchase itself was for the Glen. Exactly as if your accountant was doing it. There we go. I will stop this video now, and what we will do is in another add-on video I will show you how to split these invoices across several sites. So thanks for your attention. Look forward to presenting the next one to you. Thank you.